Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting. Take a look at the Thursday card and the feature race plus the late pick 4. And the feature is a good one. It's the Grade 3 Appalachian Stakes for 3-year-old fillies going a mile on a turf. But by the end of the year, I bet you look back at this field and think that was a Grade 1 race.
Oh, I think so. I sent an email to Ben Huffman, our racing secretary, told him he outdid himself on this one because you've got some nice three-year-old fillies in here. That the first two coming out of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf last year, and a couple of horses there. It is a Grade 1 caliber race.
Well, who are you taking in the Appalachian?
I'm going to take not the horses that finished 1-2 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, New Money Honey and Coasted. You can certainly make a lot of reasons why they should be favored, but I'm going to take La Coronel for Mark Casse, and the big reason is you circle that 1-for-1 at Keeneland. She won the Jessamine last year by 4 1/4, and she actually was favored in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf at 4-1. There's a little asterisk by her numbers in the PPs for daily racing form, and she was New Money Honey. Obviously, was a better price at 6.5 to 1, but she didn't get a great trip there. She was in the 13 hole, and I don't think she ever had a shot. She was 5 wide in the stretch, and it's really the worst race she's run by far. She comes back here with 1 under her belt at Tampa, almost won the Florida Oaks, got beat by 55 by a neck. And I think that set her up well for this one. She likes Keeneland. Giroux for Cassie is a good combination. She's not a lock by any stretch of the imagination, though, because the two we mentioned, Coasted and New Money Honey, the 4 and the 6, are right there. And Dream Dancing beat Coasted in the Here Comes the Bride at Gulfstream last out. So you got to look at Dream Dancing as having a shot. I've got another little angle here. Proctor's Ledge is a horse that just broke my heart because I was at the NHC, and Corey Lannery won a race at 49 to 1, the maiden special weight at Gulfstream, and then she came back and won by 3 1/4. Claimer down there, so she's getting better at the right time. By her progression from 74 to 84, she might be right there, and you won't get 49 to 1 on her, but you'll get a nice price because these other fillies in here. But it's a great race. I would take La Coronel, and I would use the 1, 3, 4, 6 underneath: Dream Dancing, Proctor's Ledge, New Money Honey, and Coasted. And you can make a case for Lull in here, who ran 4th in the Breeders' Cup, and Morticia is 2 for 2 at Gulfstream and 5 furlongs, stretching out for Rusty Arnold. Purely a Dream has won a race at Keeneland, 1-for-1 broke her maiden last year at a mile. So lots of ways to go here, and it's certainly not a single when we start talking about the Big 4.
Absolutely not, but I do really like La Coronel. I loved her for the Breeders' Cup, and then when she got the post position draw, I was bummed, and I stayed with her anyway, and you're right about the trip. It was just atrocious. She was so impressive, first at Saratoga, and then when she won here, and I'm hoping, because you've got the Breeders' Cup winner, and we got several horses that should take some money, that she won't maybe get bet too hard in here. And she did lose her sophomore debut, and I think that just set her up perfectly for this. So I like her a lot, but it is a tough race in the Appalachian. But second off the layoff, I think we're going to see her best effort to date, and I think it's going to be good enough to win the Appalachian. New Money Honey, Dream Dancing, Coasted, and Lull are the other ones that I had written down to use with her as my key horse. But you could go even deeper if you want in multi-race wagers. I couldn't afford to on the ticket because I couldn't narrow it down too much in other spots. The pick 4 starts in the 6th race, and I took Conquest Windy City. Big buyer improvement in the first start for Brendan Walsh, and has worked well here. So that was my win pick, but Tour de Force, Forever Mo, and Spring Quality are others I want to use. In the second leg, the 7th race, Juillerette's my pick off the good Keeneland form, but I also like Paulie's Express, Sea Cloud, and Carolina Jasmine, so 4x4. I like 3 horses in the last race, so it really is what your budget allows. If you want to keep the ticket as affordable as possible, then I would single La Coronel. If you can afford to add 1 more horse, I'd take New Money Honey. If you can add 2 more, I'd take Lull. If you want to add 3 more, maybe Dream Dancing, and then Coasted next. So I will put it out in that form. You can go as deep in that race as your budget permits, but for me, it's all going to start with Le Coronel. And then I like Tanzan, Ice Cream Truck, and Green Gold kind of equally in the last race. Those are the only 3 horses in the race that have won at 7 furlongs. So an exacta box of those 3 and use all 3 in the pick 4 is maybe not a bad way to close out the Thursday card for me. How about you?
I've got a strange pick 4. I'm hoping that the last race that the horse on the also eligible list draws in, Hush Up the 13. Only got to get one scratch, hopefully, for the horse to have a shot. But I think he's the most consistent one. He's got 4 out of 15 lifetime. So I'm gonna throw in that horse, and a lot of people won't use him in their picks because he's on the also eligible list. But there's a chance we'll get a scratch out of there. So I'm like you. I don't know how to narrow it down. So I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to go 6 deep in the first leg. I'm going to use Cherry Wine. There's a first couple of horses in here that were on the Derby trail either last year or 2 years ago. So Cherry Wine's got a lot of back class for Romans. I'm going to use the 1, the Tour de Force, the 3 for Mark Cassidy, who's won 4 good races in a row at Fairgrounds. Could be 4 for 4 with a little bit of luck. The 5 for Forever Mo, the 6 Conquest Windy City, your horse. Then Fermento, a class horse that used to be on the Derby trail. The 9, and Spring Quality, the 10 for Grand Motion. Only 3 lifetime starts for a lot of upside. I'm going to go a little bit light in the 7th race with Polly's Express, the 1 for Nixon Velasquez, and the 6 Cloud for Brendan Walsh. So I'm going to stick with 2 deep there no matter what I do in the last 2 legs. I'm going to go 5 deep in the Appalachian with Dream Dancing, the 1, La Coronel, the 2, Proctor's Ledge, the 3, New Money Honey, the 4, and Coasted, the 6. Then I'm going to single the 13 if he runs in the last race. I'm just going to take a shot there. If he doesn't run, I like the horses that you talked about. Tanzan, the 1. I like Taposphere, the 2. The 9, Green Gold, and the 10, Ice Cream Truck. So I've got an expensive ticket if the 13 doesn't run. So we'll do a couple of tickets there, 1 single and 13, and 1 going 4 deep.
Best of luck on your Thursday wagers. And we should remind folks there's a guaranteed pick 4s coming up this weekend, right?
We have a couple guaranteed pick 4s. We're doing the Friday pick 4, our normal $200,000. We might be a little light on that guarantee because last Friday we did $508,000 in that pool. That opening Friday was great for us. We'll do well over $300 in that pool. We're guaranteeing $300,000 in the All Stakes pick 4 on Saturday, which culminates with the Kumali, a nice 4-race sequence that also has the Stone Street Lexington in there.
So some more great racing. What do you expect at Keeneland? And we'll be back with the Friday podcast, and that'll be the Grade 1 Makers 46 Mile as the main event on the Friday card. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach. This is the In the Money Podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.